This is Chasing Sunset by A.C. Wise. Just short of 6 p.m., I'm chasing sunset 15 miles out of Coppertown, which is the dead fucking middle of nowhere, in case you're wondering. The road's near empty, the tank too. I'm running flat out, trying to put as many miles between me and the uncertain doom as possible. Used to have a few tricks up my sleeve. The briefcase riding shotgun is full of some of the baddest mojo there is. Black goat of 1,000 young type shit. Shit to end the world. See, the old man's hunting. As luck would have it, he's my old man. He's dying, consequently doing his best to call me home. The prodigal fucking son. The briefcase is my countermeasure. Fight fire with fire, they say, and the whole world burns. You grow up with a head full of horror show and a father styling himself Lord of the Flies. This kind of shit makes sense. Seems reasonable to dabble with old gods, turn the sun into a bloody eyeball rolling its mean old gaze down the road. Makes sense to buy a plastic baggie of mummified, freeze-dried baby squid, pre-calamari flash frying, and grind them fine enough to snort straight up your nose. If the road jackknifes into the sky, if the angle of the desert go wrong, if the AC pipes high, weird music, your sweat turns mercury thick, oozing oily beads born of the boneless bones of primordial beasts from before the world's dawn, well, it's a small price to pay. It's better than the alternative. I got dear old Daddy's eyes. He wants to make it literal. Look out from inside my skin, slough off the old, slip into the new, and reincarnate in a body with less miles on the odometer. I say fuck that shit. So I run. For now the world is steady. I'm breathing harder than normal. The sky is only oncoming twilight and not a color out of space. Scrub throws purple shadows blurring past my windows. The powder blue caddy shimmies. I'm keeping it between the lines. I'll run till it burns. If I can hit the coast, I'll be clear. At least that's what I tell myself. I hit the radio scan, cycling decimal points of white noise. There's a burst of static. My heart kicks high. I slam the brakes, but even the tires squeal as the caddy fishtails isn't enough to cover the wet sound caught between one station and the next. Raw meat hitting a wall. Sobbing. The buzz of flies. Memory crowbars my skull. Light slipping through uneven boards. The just molding scent of hay. The steady ping of blood dripping into a metal bowl. The old man. Hair sweat tangled. Eyes crimson shot ivory. Above him the corpse of a horse hangs head down from rusty chains. A warning shot across the prow. I punch the radio into silence, grip the wheel and roll down the window, washing desert air through the sweaty space of the car. It's not enough. Next time it won't be the horse, it'll be the drifter. It'll be filth-streaked flesh and barbed wire binding like the vines on the hanged man tarot card. It'll be the man's cock, painfully swollen, his eyes rolling wide, his lips silently pleading. It'll be my father's hand, extending into a shaft of sunlight, holding a straight razor. Waiting. Fuck. Concentrate. Breathe. I ease the car back onto the road. An animal skitters through the sweep of headlights. To my jangled nerves, it looks like a hunched man. It pauses, eyes luminous, tongue lolling, and grins. Fuck. I flip open the briefcase, abandoning caution, and brush the blacker-than-black idol within. Oiled wood, stone, whatever the fuck it is, it's cold. Even so, it burns. Tacky strings of flesh pull from my hand as I jerk away. Lightning arcs between my bones. I expect sizzling drops of blue-white fire when I try to shake the sensation free. The sky rolls over. The moon opens an eye, which is also a mouth, and howls. The sun's cooling corpse is a bloody eyeball slipping the horizon. Rotting corpse gods fuck against the sunset, and carrion young drop from between their scabbed thighs. My old man still grins. Teeth to stars to eternity. Then something squiggles. Doesn't it just snap up the grinning man-beast and swallow it whole? Cosmic distance. I'm flying bloody and my brain's in a fucking canister screaming between cold, sharp stars. And for a minute, the curtain tears, and I see. Everything goes dark. There's no road, no old man, nothing but vast deep. I let out a shaky breath, ease back on the accelerator, Snap the briefcase closed. Score 1 for the old ones. I keep the window down, sucking in desert night. Check the gas gauge, a sliver to empty. I risk the radio and catch a smattering of twangy country western. It'll do. There was no horse, no razor, no bull catching blood. There's just the desert night and the horror pressed to the skin of the world. Better the devil you don't know than the devil you do. I hope it'll be enough. But the thing about power is it likes straight lines, the path of least resistance, from sky to tree, from father to son. The country song fades. Silence trickles in, thick and oversweet. I nudge the dial and nearly jump out of my skin. A voice goes from the static hiss pop, where it makes us go when we're bad. Ice down my spine. I stomp the gas instead of the brake. The car lurches, shimmy dancing, spitting gravel. Because I can see it. The shed. Little sister. Eyes big as the old man leads her into the dark, taking the punishment meant for me. Meat smacks the wall. Flies buzz. Sister sobs. Shit. I slam the brakes. Door open. I bring up the gas station burrito eaten cold miles back. Shaking, I wipe my mouth. Desert insects sing. My clothes feel soaked through wet. My pulse hammers, refusing to cool. I glance at the briefcase, but stop before touching it. Some fisherman out of Providence sold it to me. Innsmouth look and feel. Friend of the fucker who sold me the dime bag of freeze-dried squid on the pier. These squid were amateur night compared to this. Just an endless walk down spiraling ice stairs into the dark and half-glimpsed shadows embedded in the walls. This thing, this idol, is what lay at the bottom. Dry, slick, but rotten to the core. How much can I take before I crack and go ha-ha loop-de-loo around the bend? On the plus side, if I ended up a gibbering mass, I'm no good to the old man. Last resort, I guess. I grit my teeth, trying sheer force of will. The old goat's kid can be stubborn, too. Back on the road, careful, slow. The wash of headlights illumes sister, dress stained dark. Flies where her eyes should be. Daddy dearest standing behind her. See what you've done? Instead of swerving, I power through. Sister and the old goat shred like moon-torn mist. Nice try, old man, I shout. I never had a sister. I hope to fuck it's true. Now that my skull's been pried wide, Daddy dearest can pour whatever he wants inside. Still a hole opens below my ribs, dropping my heart. This doesn't feel like a lie. I know sister's braids, scab knees, jam-stained smile, her love. Silent pictures show memories spool across the night, pinpricked by grub-pale stars. A black and white image of me at 6. The old man puts out a cigarette, midway between my wrist and elbow. I know if I cry, sister will get the punishment. That's how he breaks us. Sometimes we're strong. Sometimes. 6-year-old me bites my lips, holds tears on dark lashes, doesn't let them fall. The smell of burnt flesh reaches my nose. When sister peeks around Daddy's elbow, I'm not quick enough to hide my pain. Her hand goes in his, small delicacy against calloused horn. It's okay. The first bit for me, the second for him. It was my fault. She leads him out the screen door, down the crooked path to the shed at the bottom of the garden. I don't follow. I should. I curl on the kitchen floor, 6-year-old body rocked hollow by sobs. I press hands to my ears, squeeze bruised, damp lids shut, pretend I don't hear the sounds coming from outside. Sobbing. Flies. A wet sound like blood. I rub the spot between wrist and elbow, a small circle, shiny and purple-pink, the color of seashells. Fuck. I have to stop. I can't stop. Even with the idol beside me, the old man is under my skin. Come home and I'll make it stop. The words buzz through my skull. Maybe my bad mojo isn't bad enough. Every time I step up my game, he steps up his. I shoot up Innsmouth water, courtesy of a needle between my toes, and he sends the rotting carcass of a horse to chase me into the briny deep. I snort powdered squidling in a dingy motel. After the ice shadows fade, I wake with flies crawling between my bones and my skin. Maybe there's nowhere far enough to run. Twilight deepens, scattershotting the wide night with stars. An exit sign promises gas and food. I pull off. Nothing left to lose. A lone diner shines neon. A gas station squats half a mile down the road. Scorpions clack in the dark of cactus shadows. The moon slings low, slouching over the horizon, all pale gold and bruised, rotted fruit. Right now, the idol isn't doing shit. His death throes, the old man is strong. Another memory freezes me. The scraggly-haired drifter in his roughed-up army jacket, shadow of buzzards crossing over him, me sweating in the bucket seat, praying my father won't stop. The old man rolls down the window. Where you headed, son? The bum lowers his hand-lettered sign, Sharpie on cardboard. Homeless vet. Will work for food. God bless. As far as you're going, mister, hop in. The old man pats my knee, a parody of fatherly affection. The touch keeps me from saying a goddamn word. The faint stink of old alcohol bleeding through the bum's skin fills the car. My father glances in the rearview mirror. You got a name, son? Fingers dig into my leg, keeping my terror stitched inside. Joshua, sir. Well, Joshua, you're lucky we came along. Me and my boy here, we'll take you all the way. And we did. Shaking, I slink into the diner, smelling burnt coffee and cherry pie. The beefy man behind the counter gives me the stink eye. I don't blame him. I look like a strung-out junkie of the worst kind, and then some. I dig crumpled bills from my pocket, showing I can pay. He grunts, jerking his thumb toward a booth way in the back. I fork up cherry pie, red like blood. A waitress brings coffee. There are stains on her pink uniform. She cocks a hip and flashes a smile. Her whole stance is puppet-like, as though the old man wants me to see him make her dance. Get you anything else, sugar? I want to tell her to run. Instead, I put an involuntary hand on the table so she can see I'm not wearing a ring. Fuck. Wouldn't Daddy just love it if I made him a spare on my way home? Her fingers brush my arm. I watch her ass sway in her pink cotton nylon blend uniform. She wields the coffee pot, a weapon against the Dust Devil refugees washed up on her neon-lit shore. Suddenly, I know there's a motel 2 miles down the road. I know her name is Sally. There's a run in her stockings that goes all the way up. She isn't wearing anything underneath. Palms sweat on the table. I lick lips gone dry. That bare ring shines like a beacon. My cock stirs despite my best intentions. Here's the kicker. I'm a virgin. Pure as the fucking driven snow. The son of the fly lord doesn't get the luxury of love or even consensual, mutually pleasurable relations. Humans are potential breeding grounds, nothing more. I think about fucking Sally on the ash-stained counter. She has 2 kids and can barely make the rent. She's got more scars across her hearth than she can count. I'll slit her throat, plant maggots in the gash, and birth flies. The old man grins. That's it. No. Teeth grit, last ditch. My hand jerks, spilling salt. I sketch a sign in the scattered grains, glows yellow in the sick light. Sally's eyes widen, and doesn't she just see the ruins of Carposa replacing the diner's warmth? The coffee pot shatters. I push past, scattering my crumpled bills as I hit the exit. The night smells of a desert flower I can't name. The moon is low gold, grinning. I'm in the car, though. I don't remember opening the door. A whiff of gasoline. I'm already past the station and the needle's thrumming on full. Night booms over me like a tide. I smell the sea. Maybe it's in my head, but I want to believe. Static whisper on the radio. Sister sobs behind the electric hum. Flies buzz in her empty eyes. There's a place where he used to make us go. I stick my head out the window, drinking air. The car swerves, but I'm alone on the road. I swear I can hear surf crashing. Maybe the mojo in my briefcase is good for something after all. Folding distance, bringing the ocean to the desert. What did the fish mouth say? Something about dead dreaming and a city rising, all dripping angles, all right stars and everything else wrong. Pedal to the metal. Tires devour asphalt, humming, almost enough to drown the static. Sisters in the dark, where he made us go when we were bad. We were always bad. Blood-tacky flies, crimson drunk, hum in the close air. There's a dead man hanging from the ceiling, swollen cock ringed with barbed wire. There's a bloated horse, round as the fucking moon. There's Daddy, and he's sobbing. Sad, mad, bad. Look what we made him do. I drive till I see moonlight on water. I screech to a halt. The powder blue caddy's nearly burnt through. I grab the briefcase and run. Sister always was the strong one. She never let Daddy break her. She broke herself first. I'm almost to the edge between sand and sea when the old man shambles up from the dark. His shadow buzzes, blurs. Fooled you, he says. I freeze. All this time I thought I was running. I was going to, not from. Smoke and mirrors. Classic misdirection. Fools 90% of the people 100% of the time when they want to believe. I wanted to believe. The old man is stick-thin, cancer-ravaged, but his teeth are still wicked straight. His eyes sin dark and gleaming. Another step and I see the thing behind him. Sister. Her dress is stained. One hand holds a sharp bit of glass. Her lips don't smile. Her open throat does. A family reunion, the old man says. How sweet. A fit of coughing takes him. He spits phlegm on the sand and it sizzles. The air smells like brimstone. Sounds like the shiver of wings. What you got there, boy? He points to the briefcase, wheezing. Something in his eyes reminds me of the horse right before it was strung up from rusty chains. Reminds me of the drifter, smelling of sweat and cheap booze. He's afraid. The old man stretches out his hand. No blade glints in it. The gesture is unmistakably the same. Bend to my will, boy. Give me my due. Fuck that. I look at Sister. Forgive me, I say. I have no right to ask. Maybe it's my imagination, but I see the shadow of a smile. Her words are just for me this time. It's okay. Faith will jab you in the eye 9 times out of 10. Sometimes when you grow up with a head full of horror show, you can't help believe. I open the briefcase. Sister takes the old man's hand. Always the strong one. She holds him where sea meets sand. The stone, wood, skin, whatever the fuck it is, burns. I cling for all I'm worth, which is shit in the grand scheme of things if I have my way. I don't want to be the next coming of the Fly Lord. Dying unremembered and unmourned sounds just dandy to me. The old man howls with rage. I raise the black idol high. Moon's jaundiced eye rolls my way. It shifts from sliver to full, then back again, a knife-edged grin. The sky ripples, stars aligning. Something darker than dark. All dripping angles dreams its way up from the deep. Displaced water hulks black against off-color stars. The sea, the sky, everything holds its breath. Pain flays me star-sharp, hurtles me into the dark. Cold compresses my lungs, cracks my ribs. Just before I shatter, the waiting sea falls, crashing down on dear old Dad, snapping his bones. The waves retreat, oily slick. There's nothing on the shore but me and the salt-eaten footprints fading with the tide. The simple black spire, not skin, not wood, not stone, thrusts from the waves. Everything goes the color of a bruise. The sky melts, drips into the sea. Black needle lingers a moment, middle finger raised, telling me how fucked I am if I dare disturb its sleep again. Then it sinks. The cosmic eye shudders back to dreams. I sit down hard. The tide kisses my feet. I laugh. Then I weep. I wipe tears from my eyes, look toward the horizon where the faintest line of silver cracks the sky. Hollow, spent. I wait for the motherfucking dawn.